Having a video go viral is a very surreal experience, to say the least. It's a Talk About It Tuesday, and I'm going to share my experience and my thoughts with you. Don't go away. I'm Mike, and you are watching My Car Shop. The video that I did on a Talk About It Tuesday about is at the end of the classic car boom, the market crashing in 26, etc., is the one that went viral. Now, I've had videos that have gone what I call small channel viral, which means most of my videos get a couple hundred views within the first couple of days, in the first week or whatever, maybe 500. And I've had some that have gotten 5, 6, 7,000 before, and that's kind of it's viral, yes, but I call it small channel viral. But a couple of weeks ago, it was 2 weeks ago, the one that I did on the car market crash in 26 went really viral. It wasn't millions, obviously, but we hit within a week we were at 70,000 views, and it's still going. It's been 11 days now, and I think it's approaching 75,000. It's tapered off a lot. But I wanted to talk about the experience with it. It's one of the things that happened why I lost motivation out here in the shop, because I literally did nothing for the entire weekend except respond to comments. If you know anything about doing YouTube, you know that responding to comments is very, very important, especially quickly responding to comments. It's called engagement, and the algorithm will push videos more where there's a lot of engagement. And it wasn't just about me responding to the comments of people commenting on the video, which for the most part were pretty good comments. There was a few, some that I actually deleted because they made things political. That's not acceptable here. And there was a few ashtrays, because there always is. But for the most part, people were very respectable, and we had good conversation. And then I loved seeing conversation happen amongst people. There was many extended conversations that happened in the comments, which was great. And I monitored it, of course, make sure everybody was behaving and that kind of stuff. So it took a lot of my time. And it affected me in ways I didn't expect. And that's part of the subject of this video. I really struggled to get back out here in the shop and work. And the reason for that simply was I felt myself being drawn to, okay, I need to make more content like this. I need to make more content like this. I need to create more stuff that could potentially go viral. That's what it's all about. And it took me a while to kind of sort that out and kind of reorient myself back again to just do what you do. You're if you're a piano player, play your piano. If you're a guitar player, play your guitar. If you're a guitar player, don't try to play the piano, that kind of thing. But it took me a little while to kind of reorient, and it actually wasn't until today that I because last weekend we had other things going on, and plus again responding to all the comments, and the weekends before that, there was just been a lot going on. I've been really busy. So yeah, it's just, it was a disorienting thing for a little while to start looking at videos that I had in the queue and say, ooh, should I put this out? Should I not put this out? That kind of stuff. And I learned a lot in the process, but I did want to talk about a couple of things relating to that. First of all, just a word of advice or whatever. If you're going to put yourself in the public eye, you're going to get criticized. That's just the reality. That's not just YouTube. I've been in the public eye for a very, very long time, long before YouTube, not only as a musician, but in other things. I traveled all over the world speaking. So you get used to getting flamed and having people say stuff about you. I had people criticizing me for the way I attached the quarter panel on the Challenger. I had people criticizing me for starving my cats. It's just laughable, some of the stuff that people will come up with. People tell me I was an idiot for my views on things when I flat out said it was an unpopular opinion video. Again, you got to have thick skin. Do I care? Absolutely not, because every comment is engagement, and every bit of engagement pushes it up in the algorithm further. And it's so, even when you're criticizing me, it's working for me. So I'm not that, don't care that much about it. And if you became a flaming ashtray, your comment got deleted. Plain and simple. You just have to, not everything deserves a response. And I wish more people would learn that in the world today. That video like I said, in about a week, blew past my #1 video on the channel, which had 67,000 views. That was my #1 performing video on the channel, and that took a couple years to get there. This one did it in a week. And it's like I said, it's still going, it's still climbing. So it's by far not only the shortest best performing video, but it's the best performing video on the channel. In the long run, I wouldn't be surprised to see that thing break 100,000 before too long. It's still clicking up a few hundred views every day, sometimes 1,000, and it's like I said, it's tapered off quite a bit. But it was surreal. It was crazy to watch this thing just boom, 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 boom. And I have to admit that the revenue that came in from it is going to be very, very welcome in January. I haven't seen the final number yet, but it's it's not thousands of dollars, obviously, but it's a nice change from getting $150 every couple months from YouTube. So it's going to be nice, and I've got a treat coming. I'm treating myself, reward that I'll share with you on the channel, that I'm purchasing for the Stitches Challenger from my buddy John in California. He knows what it is. He's giving me the part. I'm paying for the shipping, and it's very, very expensive to ship it. So stick around for that coming on the channel. But I don't have any intention of changing the format of the channel. I thought about it. I did. I thought, well, maybe I need to do more subject matter like that. But I know my diehards, the channel, those who've been around for a long time, really like the hands-on content, and I don't want to sacrifice that. That is what this channel is about. It's a DIY channel, building cars on low buck, no buck kind of mentality. The 39 pickup, we've got $18 into that truck so far. The Stitches Challenger is, I got criticized for this too, is close to being ready to drive. Yes, it's got a lot to be done, and that may mean a year from now, but I only got $3,000 into it. Now I've got a lot of time into it, and I did some other work on vehicles for people to get parts for that. But the point is, cash money, that's what I've got into it. And we could throw the motor and transmission in and drive it around the yard in a weekend. That's how close it is. Now, it might not be pretty. I'm not saying that. But moving under its own power is not far away at all. By and large, the response to the video was affirming that what I see about the prices coming down in the classic car market, people generally agreed with that. Doesn't matter whether they did or they didn't, but it is what I see. I mean, I wasn't just doing a topic that would be a hot topic just for the sake of doing it that I didn't agree with or whatever. But there were some interesting things that I'm taking away from it, from things people said, like looking at, I'm an elder Gen X, almost a boomer. There was comments about Gen X not being as into these cars, and that's probably true of the younger Gen X to some degree, definitely true of millennials. A lot of people said that the collector cars of the next generation are going to be cars from the 80s and 90s, et cetera, et cetera. That may be true, that may be not, but I already had done some studying on the demographic of the different generations and the percentage of people interested overall in cars, period, not just these, but even 80s and 90s cars is significantly smaller. And I'm going to have a talk about a Tuesday coming in a while about that subject, just because I find it interesting. Do I care what classic car values are at? Not really, because I don't really intend to sell stuff. This car is going to my son. Some of the other cars are going to him. Some are going to go to my daughter. So it's not about selling them. But by the same token, if my wife was to come down with some severe illness, and even though we do have good medical insurance, and I needed to raise some revenue, I got a lot of stuff, not just in here, but in other buildings that could be sold to realize cash if I needed it in a hurry. I've been fortunate in life that any crises I've gone through, I haven't needed to, but it's always been in my mind that it's an investment, and yes, like any investment, its value goes up and it goes down, and it's whatever. But I've said this for years, if the economy absolutely tanks, if everything goes to crap, you can't drive your stock certificates around and enjoy them, but I can always jump in a muscle car or a classic car and drive it around and have fun with it, even if it's not worth anything. It's always worth something to me for the smiles I get per gallon. Do I want the channel to grow? Absolutely, yes. I can see how a person could earn some pretty decent money with some higher numbers on the channel, and that was the whole point of starting it. Was not it was multiple reasons for doing the channel. Part of it was just sharing what I do with my family, especially on the Oakland project, because that's a whole family-wide project, but also passing on my skills in some way to future generations, not just my family. But it also motivates me to keep moving forward on stuff. And so, having a deadline of having to get episodes out all the time keeps me out here working on the cars, which is what I love to do. But I also have that thing in me that if it comes down to coming out here into a cold shop and firing up the furnace to get the shop warmed up so I can work, I might just want to sit my butt on the couch and watch TV too. So there is that. And I think we all have that to a point, especially as we age. And I seem to be aging very quickly lately. So those are some of my thoughts. Like I said, it was a very surreal experience. If any of you guys do YouTube, oh, I know what I was going to talk about too. But if any of you guys do YouTube, I hope you go through that experience. It's pretty crazy to see something like that. Now, I was pretty sure it wasn't going to go into the hundreds of thousands or millions of views, but for a channel with, I gained almost 600 subs on that video in a week because of that video. So to see that, how that can happen when you're used to getting 50 subs a month, it's pretty crazy. It's pretty surreal, like I said. But one of the things that I had to kind of work through as I was being tempted to kind of change the focus of the channel and talk more about hot topics and do a little bit less work, which I've, kind of slapped myself upside the head and came to terms with that and said, no, don't do that. You're here for a very specific purpose with a very specific set of skills that make you a nightmare for, never mind. Gotta love it when your camera runs out of storage and you talk for 5 minutes. But one thing I wanted to touch on that got cut off, sticking to the core of the channel, what it's all about, not alienating those of you who've been with me from day one. Back in the day, from when I first brought this car home to making those frame rails by hand, etc. Goes to an interview, a documentary actually, about Twisted Sister. They were a very popular club band in New York City back in the 70s and early 80s. And when they were being offered a record deal, the record company had very specific changes they wanted the band to make, and Dee was arguing with them, saying, "You don't understand. We have hundreds of thousands or tens of thousands of fans, or whatever it was, tens of thousands of fans around New York City. We're very well known. We don't want to alienate our core fan base. Blah blah blah." And the record guy said, "I don't think you understand. We're talking tens of millions of fans." And so the band compromised and made the changes, and the rest is rock history. But in the interview, Dee was very reflective and said, in hindsight, what he should have said was, "I want both." And that stuck with me because doing the channel, I want both. I don't want to lose my core, I don't want to use the word fan base, but my core viewers and the people who are here for the things that I do. But obviously, I would like to see the channel go to attracting those 70,000 people to be a part of what we do here at MKS. Makes me able to do more. And that's what I really, really want to be able to do. Continue turning out the same content, the same cadence, the same rhythm, 3 episodes a week, generally one Talk About It Tuesday like I've been doing. That kind of stuff I think is really important to stick with. I have surrounded myself with some people who will keep my toes to the fire on how I handle the channel, what I will allow and won't allow in here. I don't want to go the way of some channels that, as they've gotten big, they have turned into completely unreachable for the average guy because they got these big corporate sponsorships and these massive shops with 10 hoists and every piece of equipment known to man, plasma tables, and it's all well and good, but I really want to keep this what a guy can do with a hammer and a vise and a welder and a couple pieces of equipment. Yeah, I know I've got a machine shop. I would have been stupid to not let that come together the way that it did. None of these machines are expensive. They are within reach of the average person. Yes, I know my shop is bigger than the average shop, but I've worked out of 3/4 car garages. I restored my 31 Ford, and my Pro Street GTS was about 50% built in a 3/4 car garage. The car garage was so small, you had to open the door, stick the nose of the car out to be able to work on. I worked out of that for years, 10 years, more than 10 years. So, I'm blessed to have the shop that I have, and I know that. All right, I think that's going to do it for this one. I just wanted to share kind of my afterglow from the viral video. Um, it was a learning curve. It was a learning experience. It caught me by surprise. But that's what we're here for. I mean, it really is. We're here to be able to generate revenue so we can fund projects and fund life. It's not just about the entertainment value of doing YouTube. For me, it's not at all. I'm serious about doing this and serious about seeing this channel grow to become something of a blessing to my life as well as a blessing to other people's lives. So, all right, that'll do it. We'll catch you on the next one. And don't forget, we do have channel memberships for as little as $5 a month. You get access to behind the scenes content and the most important thing around here at My Car Shop. Don't forget, it's important. Wow.